Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Protocol is already established. I want to, first of all, compliment the Ministry of Agriculture for this kind initiative. I think it is timely, and it's very important that those things continue. And I, as a farmer, barefoot man, it tells me that you understand that less we pack away and don't sell it. That you give me the opportunity to come to share of my experience in farming. Alex Mears, I farmed over 35 years. I'm mainly in bananas. I took on root crop after I saw the demise of the banana industry and what's going on and the costs of production and so on. And I'm now doing mainly tanias, ginger, dashing, and other root crops and so on, also pineapples. The meeting asked for my perspective for boosting agriculture in Dominica. I believe, first of all, as was already mentioned, that we need to have a clear vision. We need to know where we're going 5 years from now, what we want to, where we want to arrive at 10 years, 15 years down the line. And considering the fact where there is no vision, the people perish. We must have a workable plan in place, considering, of course, our resources. And that workable plan must not be business as usual, and it was mentioned earlier on. We cannot go now into agriculture as we used to do it in the past. We have to be innovative. We have to do it, take the best practices that is available to us. So we must have a workable plan in place, using our resources, yes. There must be a way of training our farmers. And of course, considering the younger farmers. Now, we look at the other areas of employment. You want to be a policeman, you want to be a teacher, you want to be a fireman, you want to, every other area of work, you have to go through a period of training. You have to go back to school in some cases to be trained. Only in the banana agricultural sector, that a person, and mainly those of us who have not done well at school, we have no other choice and we go into bananas, or agriculture, I mean, that cannot continue to work. We can't be serious in agriculture if we continue like that. So we must have a school, for example, for young farmers. And we have underutilized schools that we can use our school buildings after hours, that we can train and ensure that our farmers get the proper training to go into farming. And field school, for example, for existing farmers. Just this Irish potato season, we had a field school for the Northeast. And I can tell you it was very important for me, and other farmers expressed that also, that we get the knowledge that we needed to grow Irish potato. And without that knowledge, we would not be able to be productive farmers. So I think we really need to engage, have some mechanism in place whereby we can educate our farmers, identifying certain crops that they intend to go into. In training our farmers. Now, that workable plan that we must have in place, as I said, it must not be business as usual. It must be something different. Now, we must make better use of our resources, the monies that we put into agricultural production, or that we hand over to farmers. And as Mr. Warrington mentioned earlier on, that we must have a revolving fund in place. Now, and that would be sustainable, because what happens in the past is that we get monies, we pump it down the drain, we give it to the farmers, yes, they produce, and that money done, we have to find more money again to put it back. If we have a revolving fund in place, Mr. Chairman, and charge maybe a very little interest rate of 1% or 2% for paperwork and so on, so that that money remains there and maybe grow little by little, we will have that fund that we can go back to the following year for the other crops that we have too, a revolving fund. Of course, we know that the other lending agency might question that because they want to make profits in their business, the banks and so on. But we will need to have something sustainable so that we can continue to go back to for farmers. Now, I think we need to have a revolution. We need to revolutionize our agriculture. We need to do things differently. We need to focus on things like irrigation, Mr. Chairman, mechanize our agricultural industry, so that, because at the end what we're looking for is to maximize our production, improve our productivity, and maximize production, and we cannot do it the way that we are doing it, manpower. Also, I want to make a point on the NEP that is in place. I believe there are some farmers who get assistance from that, Mr. Prime Minister. But what I think, and you asked for suggestions, so I am just making my simple suggestion. I think instead of having one farmer benefiting from that, we need to look at ways that we can have more farmers benefiting from the NEP. In that, in any crop that you embark on growing, the initial stages of growing that crop, you need more manpower, more work to be done to establish the crop. Instead of having a farmer having that worker all along, there are times that he might not even have enough work to do on his farm. Why that very same worker that is being assisted by government cannot work for other farmers, and that other farmers can benefit in the work too. So that is my suggestion on the NEP. Now, what do we do with the excess? Because if we are going to take those initiatives and all what was mentioned here, then it means that we will have improved production. We will have improved productivity. I can remember back in the 70s and 80s, when we produced bananas, then we produced more than the market that was the market that demand on our side, or quota. And what used to happen is that they used to dump the excess. Are we in that case going to dump the excess of our production? So a proper plan in place, we would envisage what we are going to do with the excess. And I believe there are a lot of opportunities for us that we can look at targeting, say, the cruise ships. And how we do that is that we will look at peeling those root crops, packaging them and peeling them. And my reason for saying that is looking at things like rice, for example. Rice is an international food, the most eaten food to my knowledge. But if any one of us had to buy rice with the shell, none of us would eat rice. But they prepare it, they peel it for us and so on. They prepare it, take the oil shell, and then you go and buy a pound of rice, and you can just take it and put it in your pot and cook. Now, if the people who are interested in buying root crops and those things get that thing already peeled, then I believe we can get benefits from that in terms of employment for our people. The peel of those root crops, you can use it for animal food and manure, and look at other ways that we could utilize it. So, Mr. Chairman, I just believe, just because a lot has been said and done, but looking at those things for the future, I believe we can make great strides in our agricultural sector, and as a result of that, we can be in a better position whereby we can be in a position to be self-sufficient in providing food for our country and cut down on the import bill that is so high in this country. I thank you very much.